Yeah, we're live. Good morning.
Oh, how exciting. Hi.
Uh, Good morning. I love the little surprise live. Like Sevan always does it too. We'll be in here talking, and all of a sudden I'll just see it pop up on the screen. And I'm like, okay, here we go.
Okay, so you're inflicting everything that Sevan inflicts on you and me this morning.
It's how I grew up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a product of my environment. That's all. That's all.
You really are. You really
Don't
are.
don't blame me. So how you doing?
I'm good. I mean, we just wrapped this phenomenal event, you and me, in Austin, Texas, at the same venue that we're going to have the CrossFit for Health Summit with Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. And I mean, that event literally blew my mind. How about you?
It was great. I thought it went really well. That was the first time I've ever been closely involved with a high level thing like that. And it was awesome. I was excited. It went really smooth. There was no major hiccups.
Touch wood, there were
Yeah.
no major hiccups whatsoever, and it actually took me by surprise because normally, we have to kind of just move in the moment, figure things out. Like there's not enough food, or the AV goes out, or
Mhm.
something happens. But this was pretty seamless.
Mhm. Yeah, well, I think that speaks volumes to your organization and planning and everything else because it was so ran through that every minute I knew exactly where we were supposed to be and what was going down. And it was extremely helpful because you knew whether we were on time, we were off time. Like, do we need to speed up? Do I have to smack somebody around? You know, what's going down? You
It's so
knew.
funny though because when I was creating those random shows in the spreadsheets, I was like, well, how would Dave run this event? Like, how would Dave, being as anal and Navy SEAL like as he is, run these events? And I always picture, when the volunteers run out on the games fields to change equipment and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
always like, okay, this is phenomenal. Just watching that production take place, always blew my mind.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
Dave's inspiration.
See, you're just a product of your environment too.
Whatever, Matt. I don't like to call myself that.
Good morning, everybody who's joining the show. Denise was originally scheduled to be on today. For some of you guys that don't know, Sevan basically was stuck on a highway in Oregon for several hours as he was driving to Idaho. There was a accident that had happened several hours before he got there, and they were stuck. So he called it halfway through, and he is continuing the journey this morning. So you guys are stuck with me again. And
Lucky
Denise,
them.
we will get you rescheduled. Lucky them. um, Augustus, does Souza know what ran through means? Did I use that? Okay, well, all right, off to a great start.
I don't know what it means. What does it mean?
It's like
Is it bad?
Let me put it in a sentence, and I think you could deduct what it means. You're at a nightclub, and you go, "Oh, there's that one chick," and then your friend goes, "Damn, bro, careful, she's been ran through."
I'm way too old for that language.
So that's what that means.
I mean, Souza was ran through a lot this weekend for sure.
Ran over.
We,
So I have a question though, because I was thinking about it afterwards. Like, how'd you meet Dr. Gabrielle Lyon? Oh, here's Caleb.
oh,
Good morning,
basically
sir.
through CrossFit actually. So, hey Caleb,
Morning.
how are you?
Great. How are you?
Really, way more excited, obviously, than you are.
that
I
is
thought I
Caleb
was
excited. He's 10 out of 10.
I've never had a man be less excited to see me in my life.
I feel pretty pumped.
Oh, my
We all
goodness.
express emotion differently, I suppose.
Yeah. So how'd you meet Dr. Gabrielle Lyon?
So when Julie Fauché was working with us at CrossFit Health, when Eric Rosa took over, she started doing these CrossFit Health webinars with experts. And she knew Gabrielle from, just doing similar work and maybe having her on her podcast. And so Gabrielle came on and did a webinar for us. And we had a pre-webinar meeting. And I remember Julie was late. So it was just me and Gabrielle. And as we met, we immediately I literally we just fell in love with each other. Well, I actually can't speak for her, but I fell in love with her. She has this phenomenal energy and she's just so real and cool, and she walks her talk, and I'm very drawn to authentic people. I met some people this weekend that I feel the same way about. And so and then we just became friends.
Oh, cool. Okay. And did you know some of those speakers that were there prior, or were you meeting a lot of new friends as well too?
Kristen Holmes, I knew from before, and she's just phenomenal. Like she actually did a talk at the games one year for us, like one of the panels when we were still when CrossFit was still involved with Whoop. Jason, no, the others I just heard of. I mean,
Mm.
Evie Pampiris, the ex-CIA agent, I'd read her book.
Hmm.
Bedros, I had met through, just through Gabrielle. Don
Yeah.
Saladino, I had interviewed Don for Revita Fest, and I love that man. Like, he's just so, so, so special. Ben Newman, what a nice guy as well.
Hmm.
Cody Sanchez, I've been a huge fan of, so meeting her was insane.
Yeah. She was cool. And all of them were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. But I don't
Who
put you
was
on the
your
spot.
favorite?
Oh, see, you beat me to the punch. You knew I was going to ask who your favorite was. I liked them all. Obviously, I got to spend a lot more time with Don. He was like super personal, so I was like hanging with him. I felt like him and I were like bros afterwards. But if I had to pick like who I would like double down and get to have a lunch with, it would either be Cody Sanchez or be Bedros. And obviously just because they're super business forward and focused on like money and growing businesses. And that's just very what I'm interested in. So I would just love to be able to like talk to them, especially Cody seemed like she was like really quick. And she got like super tactile towards the end when she was like, she just straight up in this, and that was not planned. She was like, all right, we're doing 10 minutes of Q&A. Right. And she's like, who's got a question? And just started like riffing with the audience. But it seemed like she really, well, first off, she had 110 slides. I
Oh
thought
my
Yeah.
that was
god,
just insane because she had
that's
what,
too many.
40, dude, Caleb, it was 45 minutes was the talk. And she had 110 slides. And so I'm like, you're doing the math on it. You're like, okay, you got to do like 2.1 slides every every minute here. But I thought she brought a ton to the audience, and it was like there was a lot of like value there in terms of like if you're into business, what you would take away from it, and stuff like that. So those would be my two that I would pick to hang out with a little bit more.
For sure. I mean, I think for me, I unfortunately didn't get to listen to all the talks in full. I was going to go through the live stream video that we have
Yeah.
and just hear it. I did sit through both Cody and Bedros' talks. Cody was exceptional. I mean, that
Yeah.
woman is just powerful and incredible. And I was kind of like, when you meet some people and they have a big online presence, especially in this age of like social media influencer and stuff, but she's so much more than that. Or they
Hmm.
have a big podcast and they're just like, they can be a real dick.
Hmm.
And she was not like that
No, she was, yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
No, and I met her the night before at the cocktail party. She really had no reason to
Mm.
be nice to me or anything. And the next day, when we were at the summit, she was like, "Hey, Karen, I want to introduce you to my friend Nick Gray." So she was like connecting us. Like she didn't have to do that. And that small gesture of just remembering and acknowledging meant the world. And so I will always have so much respect for people like that, as opposed to somebody else who was there. I'm not going to name any names, who wasn't one of our speakers, but has a huge podcast. And I was like, oh my God, he's so amazing. He's great. And he was just like a little kind of awkward in person.
That's a nice
And
way of putting it.
not necessarily very humble,
Yep.
or I don't know, maybe he was scared. Maybe my like 6'2" tight red dress was like, I don't know.
Well, I'm
I
not
don't know.
6'2", and I didn't have a tight red dress on, and I got the same feeling, so I don't know about that.
Okay, got it. Okay, well, that's good to know then, because I'm always like, I don't know if
It
I'm making someone uncomfortable or if they're just a dick.
No, and I'll wait till you, take off to slander the person, so you don't have to get caught in my mudslinging, but I agree with you. I had the same experience, and I have a few thoughts on that as well. But let's chat a little bit about the CrossFit for Health Summit. It is right around the corner. Are you stoked? Are you excited?
I'm so excited. Oh my God, I'm like beyond excited. I still am kind of sleep deprived from Gabrielle's event,
Yeah.
but I mean, just the caliber of speaker that we have at the CrossFit for Health Summit, the just coming off this event, and it's at exactly the same venue, follows a very similar structure. So we know that the venue is going to come to the party. Like everything was phenomenal. Like the drinks, the welcome, the temperature, the food, like everything was fantastic. Like knowing that structure's in place has me so excited. And then having this focus just on the CrossFit community, essentially, and highlighting the benefits of CrossFit is super, super cool. We are adding some more events that I haven't announced. So me and Matt are hosting an after party around the corner at a place called The Parlor. So that's going to be happening on Saturday, February 3rd from I think like 7 until 9 and then beyond. And we'll have a DJ and it will just be like a ton of fun. But I am super, super stoked for the event. I think, the Gabrielle's event was about health. Obviously, like her message was so powerful. But then there was a lot of business and mindset and entrepreneurial stuff involved as well, which gave the audience a huge range to take home from. This is going to be very much more focused on pure fitness, health, exercise, longevity, and so I think anyone in the fitness and health space who is wondering if they should join or if this will be beneficial, it absolutely will. And I think just from this past weekend as well, the power of networking and meeting people in person, like it's second to none, like literally second to none. The other event that we haven't really announced and that I will announce is we are going to have a huge ruck. So we're partnered with Go Ruck. We're going to have a massive ruck from the hotel very early the Saturday morning. You do have to sign up for it. So I will be sending out an invite. The invite will go out to the VIP ticket holders first, and then we'll open it to the rest of the people. But it's capped at 50 people. Carrie here, who used to be with CrossFit as well, is going to be there. And I think just, having Go Ruck's presence as presenting sponsors for the CrossFit for Health Summit is very special, right?
Yeah.
Because the way they show up and the way that they just bring together community in a way that's very powerful is very exciting. And we had Jimmy with us, Jimmy Letchford, who's the president of Go Ruck this past weekend. And, spending time with him was just awesome. So having them all there is going to be really fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because the last event was a lot of fun, and this one feels like I'm at home. We're gonna know everybody there, and like it's all my people, it's all my CrossFit people. Everyone will be rucking. Yes, not a taxidermy. There was
where are you coming?
Eric Wise, massive ruck. Yeah, I get ruck hard just thinking about it.
Oh my God, you did not just say that.
Does
I need a date?
Jonathan Ortega, does Karin need a date for the after party? Well, only if you're going. Are you going, Jonathan?
Well, yeah, everyone needs to come. Everyone can be my date. I'm like Oprah.
That means you got friend zoned right there, Jonathan. That's just what happened.
Oh my gosh, stop. Listen, Matt. No.
Sorry.
That's awful. Jonathan, I love you. We actually chat.
Yes. Okay. So then there you go, Jonathan. The real Kevin, she's 6'2". No, she's not. But when she's rocking those heels and that red dress, she is. She's a powerful woman. That was the other thing I was going to say about Cody Sanchez. Like when she was like off stage, she was like super sweet. She was like warm a little bit compared to like some of the speakers almost. And that could be I gave them the benefit of the doubt. Like I was thinking to myself, like, okay, if I had to jump on stage and speak in front of all these people and it's being live streamed and stuff like that, like how would I be acting in the green room? And I'd probably be a little like, a little nervous and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be too like open to conversations, but she was really warm and she was really open. But then when she got on that stage, she was like, her presence was incredible and she was like super powerful. So I thought that was like really cool how she could just kind of like turn that on, like own the room. And then like right when she gets off, she's like, hi, I'm Cody, super sweet and like nice. And yeah, that was cool. Okay, so we have so everything's clipping wrong with the CrossFit for Health Summit. If you live in the Austin area, you should definitely be going. Cave Dasher had a question. He said, do we have to attend the summit to go to the after party? Is it blocked off just for that? Do we have?
No, you just have to buy a ticket. And I haven't released the ticket sales yet, but I will probably today. And it's just minimal. And actually, like we're kind of starting to work with this one nonprofit that I love. And I'm not going to say anything right now because it's not like ultimately, although it sounds like everything's up to me, it's really not.
Mhm.
This is CrossFit's event. So hoping to kind of give some of the proceeds from that, for profit from that event, to this nonprofit who's doing phenomenal work with affiliates and a specific community.
Okay, awesome. So but if you're not in the Austin area and you're not able to travel, we have something for you. There is obviously you could attend the event virtually. There'll be a live stream going down, and we have a little giveaway. Caleb already participated in it. We've already edited it. He might not remember, but he did, and so did Sevan. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving away completely for free a virtual live ticket, but there is a barrier to entry. You need to create a short video, and we do have a landing page with all the rules and where you need to submit it. Okay, so we'll make sure that we get that and throw that in the comments for you guys that want to do it. But basically, you just need to talk about how CrossFit has changed your life and how it's affected you and the people around you. But please go to the landing page, make sure you hit all the points first, and then you submit it to us. And once you do it and your video gets approved, you will get a free live stream ticket. That's correct, right? I didn't screw that
That
up.
is correct, but you also do have to share it on social media. So
Right. Yes. Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah. You got to share it on your page and then link. You send the link that you shared on your page into the landing page so we
yes.
could see it. And that would also put you in the bucket of knowing that you get a free virtual ticket. So if you guys aren't able to join the event, you could still check it live, and you could do it just by talking about what CrossFit has done for you. Share it, and we'll get you hooked up. Now, do you remember it, Kim?
I remember now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I
When
got it
Carmen
all
put me on the
edited up
spot and I
nice.
just about to shit my pants.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, that's right. You know what's funny? Because when I was pulling that clip, you like tried to get out of it. Then like Sevan tried to save you, and Karin was like, "Nope, Caleb, your turn," and just like doubled down. She's like, "Fuck if you're getting out of this, bro."
All right. We're in this. Let's do it.
And you know, Caleb, you were magnificent. And so just like a lot of respect to me for pushing you outside your comfort zone.
Hella respect to Karin for that. Yep. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
I
Sometimes
always
just
give
know
credit
a
where credit's due, huh?
There we go. Yeah, and actually, you talked about it, Caleb, because you were like, "I'm gonna go get my L1 with my dad, with my wife," and that was just this past weekend. And
Yeah,
so
it was cool.
now we've seen it doing.
How was it?
It was great. My dad has been doing CrossFit for like 5 or so years now. And just from listening to the show all the time, he's like, fine, I'll take my L1. He needs stuff to do, basically, because he's kind of on the verge of retirement and he's just trying to find things to do. And since he's been doing CrossFit for so long, and the L1, the seminar ended up being at his affiliate, also my affiliate. And so he's like signed up, and I think he liked it. He really appreciated it. He got some good information out of it. I think at some point he was bored during the what's it called, the programming talk. He doesn't really care about programming at all, which is thankfully the last day. He's like, I'm about over this, but I think he enjoyed it. It was cool. My wife took it too, so I think she enjoyed it as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you got nearly the whole family started doing CrossFit now, which is kind of nice.
Oh, that's so special. Are you coming to the
that
summit?
keeps on giving.
I don't know. I think it's the same weekend that I have to work for the government. So,
well, listen, Caleb, what's more important?
I know. I tried telling him.
Here we go, Caleb. Watch out.
I know. I told him. I think I'll get like a desertion something. They'll probably call me AWOL and
wouldn't it be worth it?
Prison. Yeah, you're probably right. It would be worth it. Working for the government's not that fun.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I'm here on a green.
She's got a point.
Oh man. So do we have that URL? Sorry, Card. I thought I had the URL for them to submit, but I don't over here. Can you shoot that to me in a text, and we'll get that put into the comments for everybody?
I can't text you while I'm on here. My phone's dead. But if you go to CrossFitForHealthSummit.com and you go to like in the top where the menu bar is, you go to challenge, click on there, and then all the details are there.
Perfect. So we'll drop that into the comments for you guys to be able to enter that, and you'll be able to get a free ticket to the virtual event.
That's awesome. Freaking awesome. Okay, can you actually share one of the videos, or am I pushing the envelope too much this morning?
Let me see. I think I can. I don't have it pulled off of Yeah, give me 1 sec. I think I could see
Here,
that.
I'll put the link in the chat here, and then I'll put it in the description of the video as well.
Yeah.
It gives you all the instructions here. You can just kind of peruse through them. It's pretty easy. And then at the bottom, put your name, email, and then the URL for the video that you've created. Put it up on any social media you'd like, Instagram, YouTube. Make it a short or not. Make it a real video. Do a vertical. Do a horizontal.
Wow,
Chop
look
it
at you,
up.
Bar. Put some
You know.
filters on, emojis.
Yeah, dude.
captions. There is a mistake,
Captions,
though.
yeah.
There's a
Ooh.
mistake in the line. It says giveaway ends January 5th. That's obviously incorrect.
Yeah,
Ooh,
just
what
ignore
about-
that. It ends when we
I'll
fucking
I'll
say
remove
so.
that shortly.
Okay, who do we want to see? Do we want to see Caleb's reel or do we want to see Sevon's reel?
Oh God, you actually made it. You made it
Let's
real.
yeah.
Let's whatever you think.
Okay, perfect. Caleb, it is. It's all about you today, Caleb. Look, it's twinning. Which one is he? Dude,
He's
you
in
know
the
what the funny side note real quick? Grace will like look through old photos because she has this time hop, so it'll pop up like a year from now or whatever. And there was one that popped up from like 4 years now, and she looked at it and then she spun the phone. She's like, "You're in the same exact outfit." Like literally, I was wearing the same shit I was wearing from 4 years ago. Oh my goodness, that is.
Hey, it still works. There's no holes in it. You know, it's still comfortable. It doesn't smell.
Yeah, I
Wearing
keep it clean. I keep it clean. Oh wait, can you guys hear that?
CrossFit. There it is. When I was in college, I got my dad to start going to do CrossFit. He's actually ended up started battling cancer, and I think because of his ability to do CrossFit and his continuation through CrossFit, he's been able to stay healthy. He's in remission. No more recurrence of cancer or anything like that. It's got my mom to start moving too. She started doing some workouts.
That's really Caleb's
and I
mom.
got my wife to start doing CrossFit as well. I got my level 1 a long time ago, and I found it really valuable. I learned a lot of stuff about nutrition, and I'm able to teach a lot of my family members about it, a lot of my wife's family members about it, and I found it super valuable in every facet of my life. So give me free tickets.
Simple. Simple.
Just like that. That's all you need.
Hey, did you notice that guy that did the push-up kissed the wall?
No, I knew through CrossFit. He's been able to stay healthy.
Oh my god, inspired by Caleb.
Oh, so there you go. Simple. You guys can do it.
What about your video, Matt? It's
Mine's a little bit different. Mine's a push to get people to go and do it. You want to see
okay,
mine?
let's do it.
Okay. All right. All right.
Caleb, just by the way, you were spectacular. If you're ever doubting yourself, just go back to that video.
Okay, yeah, that's a good confidence boost. I like it.
Use it to supercharge your confidence.
You guys make
Caleb's
real good.
video.
Yeah, right.
7 out of 10 people in the United States die every single year due to chronic disease. And we have the solution. If you are a coach, if you are an affiliate owner, or if you are just somebody who is curious, this summit is for you. It is our job, not only as coaches, to continue to expand our knowledge in coaching and movement and nutrition, but also the science behind what we do and why it's so effective. So register below. February 3rd, be the CrossFit for Health Summit in Austin, Texas. We'll see you there.
Matt, you've like missed your calling in life. I mean,
missed it, or I'm just walking the path finally.
You're actually finally walking the path. I mean, we discussed this 3 years ago. You already knew what all these top speakers at Gabrielle's event was saying, and you're implementing it, huh?
I'm slowly but surely. Just takes some time. Do you guys want to see some? I'm going a little bit off here. You want to see the first commercial I shot? Caleb, have I showed you this before? The Grill-tastic?
Ooh, no, I haven't seen this. I can't wait.
Okay. All right. Okay. So it wasn't the first time I started selling stuff. This video is from 7 years ago. We're definitely not watching the whole thing. We'll watch like 3 seconds of it. Unfortunately, it's forever on YouTube, but here we go.
Matt here with the Grill-tastic by Sienna. Hope you guys are
So here's the funniest part. It's a prototype. So right when I go to like work, like do it, the front of it like breaks off. So we had to cut right there. Hard cut. Anyhow, I won't make you guys suffer through that any longer. But
that's a super heavy duty brush, dude.
That made my day. What happened to it? I need one.
Now Souza with the hard sell. CrossFit or die. Yeah, that's it.
Hey.
Oh my god.
Incredible. Do you know what I loved about the live stream videos though? Is that no one really mentioned, and I'm sure there are people, about like a PR or any physical feat, right? Like none of us who spoke about it, like Souza did a huge sales pitch, which, you know,
Yeah.
you can go get his company at medialaunch.io if you want more of his brilliance. Then Caleb spoke about health and his dad's like cancer journey and stuff. And Sevan as well spoke about his mom, like how it changed her life. And then I think I just mentioned my divorce and the power of community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So a salesman and then people who just actually improving in life. That's
But we do want to see everyone's videos. It'd be so interesting to see a wide range of people and what, you know what I mean? Like, and how it's changed their lives.
Yeah, and that's the point. We want to hear it from what it's done for you guys and what makes CrossFit special. And then you get to share that. And on top of that, you get a cool free ticket. What more can you ask for? Okay, so Karin, before we let you go, is there anything else we want to talk about?
No. Why is it not showing on YouTube? Oh, we are.
What's not shown on YouTube?
We are. Don't worry. I thought.
Oh, Caleb and I are professionals. I knew. There's 160 people watching us, so they had to come from somewhere.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's not the 1,100 Caleb and I had hoped for, but
oh, you guys can still build it up. You got this.
That's right. That's right.
You can raffle off dates with me if you want.
What's that?
You can just raffle off a date with me if you want.
Oh, hell yeah. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. We may
have to pay the person I'm going to go on the date with, but whatever.
We'll just pay him in drinks.
No. Yeah, that's what Slinky. I thought her phone was dead. That's what I thought.
It is. Look.
Look at us on a smaller screen.
God, charge your phone.
I don't know where my charger is. I think my son took it last night.
You're that kind of person, huh? You just let it die.
I hate my phone. I'm like trying to create a life where I don't have to check emails. No one ever phones me. Like I'm like done.
That's what I have.
I'm like an iPhone 10.
You have an iPhone 10?
I think.
Awesome. Well, there hasn't been much innovation. Okay. So, all right, Karin, thank you very much. We'll, I'm sure, check in with you another time or two prior to the event. But everybody, go over to the CrossFitForHealthSummit.com. Go get your tickets, do the entry, get the free virtual giveaway. I mean, we're just giving shit away, guys. All you got to do is put a little elbow grease into it, make a video, have some fun with it.
Yeah.
And you get to be able to attend the virtual event.
And it'll make us feel so special. So if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for me and Matt and Caleb.
Do it for Karin, okay?
Mostly for Karin, though.
Yeah.
Please,
she's
guys.
the best.
No one's doing shit for us. They already know.
Okay, I love you guys. I'm going to get my kids to school.
Thank you so much.
Karin.
See you later.
Okay, bye.
Adios. Boom, 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 boom. You see the notes? I actually prepped. I did something here.
This is more prep than I've ever seen any of us do in the past 2 years.
So we also have the live call-in number going. I hope the call forwarding should be on if anybody wants to do our usual call-in and test it so you get a freebie without having to feel scared about calling in. Please do so now so we could see if it's working. I got a couple of things we want to talk about. Today is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. I got to jam out of here a little bit after 8. But I put together some topics, and the first one I want to talk about is something we kind of ended on with the last show, which was the definition of liberty. And I just think it's important that we know. And so if you give me the microphone, we are going to give the definition again. So I always anytime you hear somebody say, well, democracy, remember, that's just a group of people voting for what's right. And that brought us to Salem witch trials too. The majority agreed that we should burn people at the stake because they were witches. And so that's not exactly the best form of governance. But if we do it with liberty, then, we're all operating on the same sheet of music. So the state of being free within a society from oppressed restrictions imposed by an authority on one's way of life, behavior, or political views. That's it. Taxidermy. Can we stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance at the top of every show? Yes. Yes, you can. Okay, so we got a couple topics today. We could talk about why policies affect small business and what that means to you. We could talk about the President of Argentina, Javier, at the World Economic Forum and what he said there. We could also talk about an email sent out by Google talking about how it's going to be censoring things around sensitive subjects or sensitive events, rather. We could talk about an alien species that was discovered at the bottom of the ocean. We could talk about we could just scan over at Hiller's page. Just check his Instagram and see what pops up. I don't know. There's always something exciting to talk about. We could also talk about old people in CrossFit. We could talk about luxury, or what about our what the fuck moment with the Heat One app? Caleb, you wanna choose where we start?
Let's see.
Taxidermy saying, "What's up? What's Hiller up to?"
All right, let's go see Hiller.
Should we start with that?
Sure.
We'll start it with a bang.
I want to talk about aliens too at some point.
Okay, we'll do the alien. We'll do the alien bit next. Here we go. Okay. So regarding one of Hiller's most recent posts, and it states on there, "Be friendly because I can't tag Brian." Hid my post on his recap from Waza. So here it is. I took an exact quote from where he sucks himself off and again belittles the Sevan Podcast for 5 to 10 minutes and then gave my opinions based on the 2-hour episode I had just listened to. Welcome to the echo chamber. What's happening over there?
I hope he listened to that at like 1.5 speed or like 2 times speed.
Why is that? Just to speed it up a little bit?
Yeah, it's 2 hours of just stats, dude. I don't care to listen to stats for 2 hours. I also don't care to listen to the cadence of conversation that they have. It just takes forever. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty dense. Like, if you definitely want your like straight up statistics and like a lot of dense information about the athletes, about the events and stuff like that, his is the channel to go to. And it looks like a couple people are also agreeing with you. We need Hiller to call in. If he's listening, he could definitely call in and we could chat a little bit about it. But yeah, I'm not going to read this whole entire thing, but the gist of it is I think that Hiller felt that there was this undertone of him. Oh, he is in the comments. Andrew, what's up, dude? If you want to comment on this, holla at me. You just come in and we could talk about it too.
Come on in, dude.
But yeah, this sounds like that that something that was said on there kind of rubbed Hiller the wrong way, and he was posting about it, then it looked or commented about it on the YouTube channel, and either hid it or removed it or it disappeared, something of the sort, and we will find out now. Hiller, welcome to the show.
Yo.
Hey,
I
what's
just
up, dude?
clicked on the show and I saw this was on there and I was like, oh boy, oh man.
we had a plethora of topics and not a taxidermy said let's start with what was going on over here. So
Let's
do you care to elaborate?
Let's start with the truth, right?
Okay.
Isn't that the
Let's
same?
do it. Let's do it, broken science.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, hey Athena.
Athena, hey coach.
She's down 9 pounds already.
Before we get into that, how is that going? Are you two hitting it off?
Yeah, I'd say so.
And like, do you meet daily? Do you meet weekly? Like, do you
So
text
far
all
we're
the time?
doing a weekly call, and our first
Okay.
call was probably about 2 hours, and then we talked on the phone the other day for something about an hour.
Yeah.
And we were just catching up and setting up workouts and kind of refining a couple of things. And it's gonna be a process where at a certain point it's gonna be super dialed in, just piece by piece. But it's how is she adjusting to certain things, and so far it's awesome, I think.
Yeah. Well, she's a wonderful person. I've got to hang with her a few times, and she's very warm and has great energy, which is awesome. So yeah, I'm really curious as to how that's gonna go with you guys. I'm excited to see it.
Every day.
We talk almost every day via text.
I told her she's in my 5. Remember the T-Mobile 5?
Yes. Yeah.
So like
Your MySpace 7.
I don't get to very many, but now she's in the 5, and I make sure that I like pay a close attention to what's going on there.
That's awesome. I'm pretty sure Sevan had spoke that once you guys get a few months into it, we want to have both of you on the show and chat about it, how it's going and everything else. And he would be a much better person to facilitate that conversation than I. So yeah, Sean Letterman, MySpace top 5. That's right. Jessica, hair is coming in nicely, Hiller.
Yeah, it's wicked. It's crazy.
Yeah, looks good.
Microneedling via Alexis and GHKCU via CA peptides.
Dang.
Wow. It's a lot of
Crazy.
words I didn't understand. But yeah, it does look good. Can it fix like my gray hairs coming in?
No.
You can't see him all the time, but then when I do see him, I'm like, yep, that's cool.
You can do that. So the worst part of it was like right here, and you can't see it. If I pick this picture up, there's like a bald spot coming. It's completely gone.
Got the Rich Froning bald spot.
It was completely gone. So I don't know what he did. Remember, he buzzed his head at one point, and everyone was like, "You're going bald."
Yeah.
All he had to do was some microneedling and some GHKCU fixes everything.
Oh, that's it, huh?
Yeah.
Have you reached out to him?
Yeah.
Okay. That works for anybody, you say.
Oh, really?
Okay, so
there's
the
no point of no return from what I know.
so the Brian thing, what was going on? You were watching his show and you felt that he kind of like did he smack the podcast around or something? What prompted this?
It builds off of the thing that he had done the other day where he was telling everybody who he is not, right?
Okay.
There's a nuance to it. There's a tone to it where it's because I'm where I am, you guys should be you don't really understand what it's like to be there. It's like, yeah, no shit. Like we're just covering everything from the outside looking in.
Right.
And if it came from just about anybody else, it wouldn't mean all that much. But because it's coming from Brian, it's him taking a straight up dump on everything that we did during Wadapalooza weekend. I see all the shows. He doesn't watch them, of course. So I made a point to let him know that I watched all 2 hours of it. And right around the 14, 15-minute mark, he starts talking about how the rain delays and when you're in the room, and I had some say, and I think that it really had a good positive effect on the event. That's the gist of the quotes. It's a direct quote, so you can even see the ums.
Yeah, I know. Did you just transcribe it or what? Or did you just listen to it type it out? Okay. I did. I read that piece and I was like, okay, I see where you were going with that. Yeah, interesting. Well,
yeah, it's a direct quote, and that's the gist of it. I was in the room. You don't know what it's like. I had an effect. So he's sucking himself off, as I said in the comment there. And also, because you weren't there and I was, you should listen to me. And you guys don't know what you're talking about.
Well, do you think there's some truth to that, though? I mean, maybe he did have some more information than everybody else had.
Wish you would have said it then.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's like basically saying like, oh, well, I know a bunch of stuff. And you're like,
it's
well, you get to share
now. And I said things that helped everybody.
You what? I'm sorry. I didn't hear that piece.
It's much safer now. And it's because of him. We don't know what he said or what he did or what those contingency plans were.
So you mean like strict pull-ups was a good idea?
No, we don't agree with that, but maybe that was his idea.
Did you see Angela DeChico's post about Wadapalooza?
Yeah.
That
was last year too.
That was interesting. Did he say that last year? And what do you think? You think it's just because they're trying?
It's a mayhem Wadapalooza aura that they have, but they don't like Wadapalooza.
Okay. Yeah. So if we go to the caption, this is Angela Chico's Instagram. It says, worst ran comp of the year, check. We still had fun with some good dudes, check. So, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I try to put myself in the shoes of like the event, people running the event. And it's hard. I mean, there's a lot of freaking divisions that are happening there. There's a lot of people to manage, a lot of logistics to manage. You have the contingency of the weather that always every year plays a role into it. So you're not only having to create all these events, but I imagine they have to create backup events for every single event that could still be done in the rain or can be shifted. And I would imagine that that's pretty tough. And there's always other stuff going on in the background of these events that we might not be privy to, right? Could be some stuff with budget, could be some stuff with like logistics and other things that they're always having to work around. So I always try to give them the benefit of the doubt, and Dylan over at the tier Wadapalooza, the benefit of the doubt a little bit. I've never ran an event like this, so I'm not, nor have I competed at one. You competed out there 2-3 years ago?
I was competing there, like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Yeah. How was it from your side as a competitor during those years?
Chaos.
Chaos.
So when he says that, I don't disagree. But that said, it's So I think it was Jeffrey Birchfield just read then why go? Right?
Yeah.
There's never been one year where it's been anything other than like something going awry. And yet every year it's the biggest competition outside the games and everyone keeps going. So which rate you can't complain about the madness.
You think
Yeah.
it's like a level of FOMO that people have? They're like, oh my God, everybody's having so much fun in Wadapalooza on Instagram. We need to go every time.
I think it's a lot of FOMO.
Yeah. Well, it is the biggest event that comes halfway through the season, right? I mean, in terms of like from end of July, August, we have the games, and then we got another 6 months or so. So people are kind of itching to get back in with everybody in their community, and the Miami Festival offers that at Tier Wadapalooza. So we'll give him the benefit. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I will, because I
think it's a fair statement from Angelo because it's not wrong, but it's also I wish he said what, because the biggest thing that I saw this year was that final event. It was just like, hey, we're going now, we're going later. Oh, we're going now again.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that's like a direct hit, then he's got a big point. That's annoying.
Yeah.
They did it so last year I competed as an individual that was in the RX division. So was Nick Matthew, and he just completely missed the event because they did the same thing then. I called him and I was like, hey dude, we're going on in 10 minutes. He goes, well, I'm at a coffee booth. I won't be there. He was just somewhere else.
He's like, I'm not even on the premise. So while you're here, Hiller, you gonna hang with us for a little bit? Where did I hijack your morning?
I got 19 minutes.
Perfect. Same with me. Okay. So let's stick with this theme. I'm interested to hear your take on this, Hiller. Caleb, it's titled The Old People in CrossFit. And this was posted on Sean Patuch's Instagram. Pastuch. Excuse me for my pronunciation sucks. If you guys ever notice, I never even like laugh when Sevan screws any of it up because I am so much worse. And I knew at some point I was gonna have to start pronouncing people's first and last names, and I wanted to have the good karma. Okay, so before we play the clip, I got to hang with Sean this weekend. He was at the event that I was at, and I thoroughly enjoyed hanging out with him, like a lot. Like, I don't know if have you guys spent time with Sean in person before?
Not time, but I've talked to him.
Yeah, I got to spend a little bit of time with him on there, and I enjoyed hanging with him. Okay, so let's play this clip, and then we'll get your take on it, Hiller.
I am gonna be 93 in January.
This hurts my brain. All right, enough. Can we be honest for a second? If you're a CrossFit gym owner, you know what you have could be great, and you don't want 93-year-old Annie Holmes in your gym, regardless of how inspiring she is, because you can't run Fran with 93-year-olds. It's not gonna work. Oh, they're not ready to come into your gym. They're not looking for your gym. It's not the market you want to go for. And I don't know why CrossFit keeps telling you to do it. CrossFit is amazing for the right person walking through the door. You want to look for people who've played sports before, who are generally healthy from a joint integrity level. I'm not talking about physically fit. They can be overweight. They can be 100 pounds overweight. They just have to be ready to walk in, work hard, be in an environment with a bunch of alphas. That's what CrossFit is. Turning 6s into 10s, forging elite fitness, what the military, the firefighters, the special forces use. Fight Gone Bad. When did it become Annie Holmes, the 93-year-old who you don't want 100 of in your gym, who don't live in your town, who are going to make your business a living nightmare to run, even if you want to help Annie Holmes? Go do some charity work at the YMCA. Go do some charity work at the senior center. That's where she is. You don't need to run a business on her. My God, please.
My name is
Okay.
I think I commented on this. I wonder if it'll pop up if you scroll, Caleb. I wonder. I know I shared it. Maybe not. There it is.
Hiller, if you try to talk to everyone, you end up talking to no one. I agree. Sevan even commented on it too. He said, "What did he say?"
Did you see Sevan comment?
Yeah, I think he said, "Wow, there's a lot of." I get what you're saying. Okay, so what's your take on that?
God,
How do you
I
feel
want
about
to know
that?
what Sevan means by that. Which part? Because there's a lot going on there.
I would imagine that he's just talking about you don't want 100 of the older people in your gym like Annie.
Do you want 100 of anything?
No, but that don't focus on the number. Just focus on what do you think? Do you agree with what Sean's saying here?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I agree with the idea that it's going to be an unsustainable business model to a degree. I think that maybe with people like Annie, so now Annie's, if you look exactly at her, from what I understand of her, she's been doing CrossFit for some time, so she's rather self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have 100 brand new 93-year-olds pop in one day, you're fucked. Right?
Yep.
Imagine they just jump into your affiliate one day, like something goes viral and they all show up to CrossFit Livermore. Like, are you going to have the manpower? Are you going to have the time, the coaching staff to deal with all of this? They need a lot of help, a lot of work, right?
Yeah, and I wouldn't even possess the skill set to probably give them what they needed immediately, because I haven't worked with that population specifically.
Well, that's interesting, because Athena and I have actually talked about that when it comes to larger bodies. That's something that's cool that her and I have talked about, but it applies here.
Yeah.
Annie, from what I get, has been doing it a long time. And the thing that I don't agree with is this is what CrossFit's pumping, because then all of a sudden this is your genre. They're not doing the turn the 6s into 9s anymore, which is what I hear. Maybe that's what Sevan's saying. I know what you're saying, and he gets it, because that's what it was for a long time, and now this is it. And I think that potentially he's going as aggressively the other way to get his message across, as it seems CrossFit's going aggressively towards this message. And somewhere in the middle is the answer. You want you want everybody by.
Look, here's the deal with this. I agree with what he's saying, in the sense that I think CrossFit should constantly be speaking to its base. I don't think CrossFit should ever be watered down. I think it should. The base is going to be your first responders. Your base is going to be people training for the military. Your base is going to be the tip of the spear. CrossFit has been forging elite fitness. And here's the best part about it. What I've witnessed in my affiliate, and then Hiller, you could say if you've seen the same over the years, which is, if I focus on those tip of the spear people, we come in, we give them what they need. They're able to, continue to grow in their fitness. They're not being stifled by anything. And then those people go out and grab their parents. Those people go out and grab other people who are on the fence. They know they need to make the change. They see what's happening with the people that are already doing CrossFit within their family. And they can't shut up about the freaking thing. You got to come to my gym. No, they're going to meet you to where you're at. No, trust me, you could scale everything. No, you don't need to be fit to go into CrossFit, right? And so once they start to do that, those people bring the different demographics into your gym. That would be the older population. That will be somebody that needs to lose 100+ pounds. But the thing is that they're already coming in with a friend. And then on top of that, you're not trying to sell them something, because most of those people probably don't want to be sold. The friend is actually helping influence them to bring them in. And we have a caller. Caller, hi.
Hey, buddy, it's Fergie.
Hey, what's going on, man?
That guy can go fuck himself.
Oh, why is that?
Dude, first off, as an affiliate owner, you want people who are going to stay, right?
Yep.
Who aren't going to just do their 3 months and bolt. And that's usually what happens with the young crowd. I've worked out at gyms in college towns. The freaking turnover is ridiculous. Older people, we tend to just be more pattern based. We'll come in, may not RX, but we're also doing it for longevity. We're not doing it to, comp.
Sure. What do you mean by older people? What age are you referring to in your mind when you said that?
Well, I'm 61.
Okay.
And most of the people that I work out with are probably 45 plus, so like, we don't give a shit. We're not there to get PRs and stuff like that. We're on the downhill of our, like, sarcopenia is a real fucking thing. But the bottom line is, we're a valuable part of the gym. Like, don't discount us. Like, we come and we renew. You don't have to chase us down for our monthly, membership. We buy shit from the gym if they offer it. We'll do the PT, all the other stuff that you guys do for incremental revenue. We're good customers. Like, that guy can go suck a dick.
Yeah, but he's referring to somebody who's
93.
He's referring to somebody who's 30 years older than you. And he's saying that if we go out and sell to that population, that's going to be a failed model. How did you start CrossFit?
Well, with any luck, I will be in the gym at 93.
How'd you start CrossFit?
Oh, dude, it's a great story. I was 60 pounds overweight, arthritic, diabetic, pre-diabetic. had stage 3 kidney disease. And I started running and doing a little bit of yoga and stuff. And I just noticed that I didn't have the muscle tone I had back in my powerlifting days. So, I bit the bullet. I went in. I used to hate classes, but my perception of classes was like spin and shit from the YMCA. I got into this and I drank the Kool-Aid day one, because I kind of think like, more logically when it comes to exercise. I've been around a long time. I've been through all the trends. And it's like, all this stuff connects. The mobility, the nutrition, the way it's constantly varied, that all connects logically. And it was like, I became like, your typical CrossFit guy that won't shut up about CrossFit.
And when you started, did you just go in on your own, or did you have a friend or somebody that influenced you to get in?
No, dude, I was in this college town near Savannah, Georgia. And I just walked into the local affiliate, and they ran an amazing affiliate there. I mean, we used to call it the Wyndham of CrossFit. It's the old CrossFit Borough. I think he changed the name a couple years back. But anyway, it's an amazing run gym, and great community. And that's the other thing. Like, it really does mean a lot to older people to have that community, that sense of belonging with the class. We typically cut up a lot. We make a lot of jokes, and you just, your mental health is so much better when you're going to CrossFit 3-4 times a week.
Well said. Thank you, Fergie. We appreciate your input.
Yeah, brother. Talk to you soon.
All righty, bud. Bye.
Wait, don't leave Fergie.
Oh, my bad.
There?
Sorry. There's other people that are here. He's gone.
I wanted to say something.
What were we going to say?
I brought up the loneliness page.
Yep.
Because when you sell to the lonely people, it's not, and then you try to conflate it with the community thing that everyone loves. Everyone loves community, just like Fergie loves CrossFit, and everything he said is true.
Yeah.
But you asked him why he started.
Right.
Not one person starts because they're lonely. And not one 93-year-old is going to start. Oh, I shouldn't say not one, because there's always exceptions, and maybe there are all lonely. There's all lonely.
Old people get lonely, man. All their friends are dead.
Yeah.
When you're 93 years old, like, she's been there. I told you, she's been there, what, 8-10 years doing CrossFit?
Yep.
And by all means, she's an outlier.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
that's what you said. It's like, why did you start?
Yeah.
Forging Elite Fitness, go to the base.
Yeah, and I agree with a lot.
Your family brings you in.
I agree a lot with what Fergie had said about as far as the ideal customer, right? Because when you have people that are in that age group of 45 to 65, he's absolutely right. I mean, they're super low drama. Most of them have a lot of stuff going on in their lives. They want to come in, get some awesome fitness in a class within their hour, and then they move on, and they most likely participate in all the community events. Like Fergie was also saying, they most likely buy all the t-shirts and everything else. They have stable income. Very, very, very rarely do they decide that, oh, now I'm going to be Mr. Competitor and I need my own programming and I need to go off into the corner of my gym and make a bunch of loud noises while the coach is trying to coach too. They usually tend to follow along with the program and enjoy that piece of it.
Oh, somebody calling?
Yeah, go ahead, Gabe. Go. Caller, hold on for 1 second.
To Souza's point about speaking to the base, I started CrossFit because I was training for the military. Me and a couple of friends in high school, we were training to go into the military, and that's how we start. One of my friends, his name's Keegan. He went to the Naval Academy, and when we were in high school, we did CrossFit. That's what we did from junior year on until we simply left for college. So I had been doing CrossFit since I was a junior in high school. And that's all I talked about with my family. I was like, I'm doing CrossFit. This is how I'm training for the military. This is how I'm training to go to selection. This is all this other shit.
Yeah.
When I did that, my parents, everybody around me was curious. My friends were curious. Everybody that I played soccer with was curious about what I was doing. People that, like my family, that's how I got my dad to start doing CrossFit, because I was training for the military. That's speaking to the base. Because of that, I got my dad, I got my brother-in-law, I have I'm working on my father-in-law, and my mom, same thing. My brother, he comes to CrossFit whenever he comes to town, all that shit. That's how you get members. That's how you get those people to get into the gym. That's more often than not how you're getting people into the gym, not because they're lonely.
I completely agree with you, Caleb. And I have this similar story. I wasn't in the military, but the guy I learned it from was in the military, and I was working out with him as he was training and stuff like that. And then when he went away and got deployed, I was like, dude, what's going on? I told the story yesterday, right? And he's like, it's CrossFit.com, dude. And then after that, same deal. You know, I dove head first, obviously got a gym and got my mom and my dad and like everybody involved as well too. And I do think that that's the right recipe. Caller, thanks for holding. What's your name?
Hey, this is Ken Walters finally calling in.
Ken Walters. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I am calling in because of the last gentleman. I'm the same age, 61. And I mean, CrossFit changed my life when I started at 54. And, I don't know about having a whole room of 90-year-olds at one time, but one of the things I'm working with my affiliate owners recently is trying to get a class during the day to show that when you're 60 or older, you can do this. I mean, it changed my life. My son played professional hockey, and so I was always working out with him before he left home at 16 to work out with 20-year-olds. And the minute he left home and I got in the restaurant industry, I went from 185 in athletic up to 251 pounds.
It'll do it.
And I went in for a physical, and my doctor said, Ken, I don't know how to say something last year, but you're starting to look like shit. What's going on? And they did my tests, and my triglycerides are through the roof. She said I'm type 2 borderline diabetic coming on, type B or whatever. And so I my aggressive, personality, I just went and started walking. I changed my diet right away. I started running a little bit. I couldn't even run a quarter mile. And I just started doing all these things day after day. And then my daughter she was with a trainer, and she wanted to stop training. And I went into the Anytime Fitness, and I said, hey, my daughter's got 2 trainings left. I'd like to try this one-on-one training you guys have. He said, no, can't do it. And I said, hey, you already got my money. Let me try. So I did. And the guy does CrossFit, and he did one training. Does he come back tomorrow? I said, sure. So I came back. He ran me through some tests, and then all of a sudden he goes, hey, you ever think about CrossFit? I go, oh, here we go. They want more money from me. Well, I came back and I started doing one-on-one training with him for a year and a half. And the guy said, you know what you need to do? You need to go into a box. You need to come into a box with me. You'll like the community. You'll like what it is. I go, Luke, I can't do it, man. I'm just comfortable with achieving what I'm doing now. I went into it, and now come up this September, it'll be 8 years in a box. And the only thing I disagree with the last caller is I am still setting PRs at 61. I mean, I just deadlifted 401 pounds. Yeah, it's dropped down. I did 300 a month ago. And then I just did a 401 deadlift and 210 press over my head. And then we're doing PRs for back squats today. I'm at 337. I think I'm going to hit 355. 3 years ago, I ran a 712 mile. I couldn't even do a quarter mile, like I said, when I first got into this. Now I'm nowhere near 712 now. I'm still, I can get under 9 or, 830 something. It's changed my life. And the other thing I agree with is, people are saying old people shouldn't do this and joints and all that.
Yep.
I think like the last caller, you got to work in your yoga, mobility, your nutrition. And I've drank the Kool-Aid too, as you can tell. I'm all jacked up right now talking about it. I can't wait to tell everybody about it. My family's tired of me telling about it. They get it. They see it. They get tired of it. But
yeah. Hey, Ken, let me ask you, do you think it would be more effective to get people in that are your age that maybe aren't as athletic or driven as you if they had their own class? Or do you think that it's important to be in the population with the normal group?
Well, and I had some athletic background before. So for me, I was just terrified at first. But I knew enough. I lifted enough. I ran cross country in high school, different things that I could get back.
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying. I'm working with my box now. In fact, we talked about it 3 days ago about, hey, they're trying to fill. How can we get more revenue in during morning hours and some of our off hours besides just open gyms? And I was like, man, I'd be willing to be an advocate to talk about, older people training and how everything's scalable. And we're looking at possibly doing like something like at midday for 60 and older. And, we just started talking about it. And I think that would be better, and then filter into a class here or there. Something like even I did, going one-on-one and then finally getting the guts to go into a box.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Ken, you're amazing. We had some of your stuff up here with your deadlift and your bench press. Dude, it's savage. I have to tell you.
Oh, shoot. I'm not looking at it because I didn't want to get slaughtered in the comments.
That's all right. That's all right. Don't you worry about them.
Know what's going.
Ken, thank you so much, brother. We appreciate your input. Thanks for calling, bro.
Have a good one. Love what you guys are doing.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Good hearing from you, Ken.
What's really funny is my dad was just joking like a couple weeks ago about, he's like, when you're my age, you can't run a 7-minute mile. My dad's 50 something years old. My dad does he does CrossFit and all that shit, but he's just old. But I set a reminder in my phone, so when I'm 50 years old, I'm gonna run a 7-minute mile. So it's like, because you can set out like reminders for like decades, and so I sent one out for 20 something years from now, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna run a 7-minute mile when I'm 50 years old.
You're gonna set some reminders as well, because one day you're gonna wake up and be like, fuck.
Yeah, right. It's like, damn, I gotta run
10 years since I ran. I know I gotta do this somehow.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my goodness.
Ken just said he did it at 60 years old. So if Ken can do it at 60, I think I can do it at 50.
I was thinking about Sevan during that call, and I'm thinking like, Sevan's always talking about his back and how he doesn't lift heavy stuff, and here we got Ken, who's 10 years older,
crushing, doing great. Yeah, Olivia, Ken benches more than Matt. Damn right he does. Yeah,
and that comment got me.
Quite significantly more than me.
Yeah, I popped into my old affiliate yesterday, and we're talking about all this stuff, and there was a member who walked up to me. It's actually a coach's wife, and she has a couple grandkids now, and she's approaching 70, if not 70 at the moment. And it's cool to hear her say, because the thing she straight up said is, she goes, daughter's gotten more grandkids, and everything that we did here allowed me to hang out with my grandkids and keep up with them. And it's that, but she's there because the coach is there, because the coach is from the base.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
There you go.
All roads lead.
It happened legit yesterday.
All roads lead to the base. Okay, do you have to jam? It's 8. If not, I want to get one more take on something.
Go ahead.
Okay. Caleb, could we bring up time caps? I just added that one at the very bottom. I just want to get Hiller's take on this real quick before he's got a jam. Thanks for hanging with us.
On my post about my gym closing, that it's wicked.
Okay, so this is from Best Hour Other Day.
Oh man,
this is Jeffer. If you rely on time caps, you have a deficiency in your coaching. And let's swipe over so we could hear it here.
Get on our high horse about like, well, we have good coaching standards, and I'm like, I disagree if you have to put time caps on there and if you're not saying these things at the whiteboard. If I'm having to use them regularly, it is a signal of a deficiency in some way, shape, or form of my coaching skill. If my coaching is high caliber, rarely, if ever, should I be utilizing a time cap. That starts at the whiteboard brief. What do I emphasize? Do I emphasize the load on the bar? Or do I emphasize the stimulus? Do I emphasize how the rounds should look and feel? Do I emphasize how many of a given set should be unbroken, or how long the set should take? If I emphasize those things, people start to make their own calculation about what weight fits inside of the box that I just traced. And they're like, oh, 95 doesn't fit in the box, because I know what 95 feels like for me. 75 fits in the box. And all of a sudden now they're thinking about 75 versus like, hey guys, 95, 65. Now I've highlighted the load on there versus like what the outcome should be. A lot of people like to get on their high horse about.
Okay, so
he lost my attention after about 5 seconds, and then I came back, and I realized that he's just a jackass.
Okay, so that's the take on that.
That's my take on it.
Jackass. Oh shit, they can't hear it. Could you guys not hear that? Sorry about that.
It's quiet, yeah, but the words were there.
The sum of it is he's saying that if you have to use a time cap, there is a deficiency in your coaching or a deficiency in the way that you're communicating the stimulus of the workout. I completely disagree with this. Hiller, agree or disagree?
So you agree with me disagreeing? Okay.
Yeah, because I use time caps in every 4-time workout, and the reason why I use the time cap is very simply, we have a rule at the gym. It's one that I enforce very strongly, which is nobody cleans up any of their equipment until the time cap is over.
What is he trying to say here? Like,
I don't know.
What's the point?
I don't know, because when I also have the time cap, it communicates what he said. So if I have a work for example, we had a workout yesterday at the gym. It was 4 rounds, 54 double unders, 18 toe to bar, then 9 snatches. And the snatches started at 95, and each round they went up and they ended at 155. So for me, I'm like, okay, if you're looking at that and you see the loads, the time cap communicates the parameter in which you should be in. Yes, Christopher Rattray, time cap reflects the stimulus.
He took something that makes it incredibly potent and stretched it into a 10-minute video that pissed me off.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and
I know
for
you had a thought going there.
No, but that was it. It's like I communicate that time cap, and you know how it is. How you get some guys that come in there that are like, I think I could do the 135, and I'm like, bro, you set that PR in your snatch last week. You're probably not going to hit it for multiple reps this week, right? And on top of that, if you say, hey, if you want a chance at completing this under the time cap, as you should be focused on, that immediately communicates the loads and how it should be properly scaled. But for me, the most important part of that is the fact that it keeps us together in a group in a 4-time workout. Because when I program for the best like 5 people in my affiliate, then everybody else scales down, right? So I think about them in terms of the time cap. And then what happens is when they finish and they blow that time cap out of the water and they're done 3 or 4 minutes, and I don't allow them to clean up their equipment, they have 2 options. They could take a cool down walk, they could stretch, or they could cheer on the people around them. What ends up happening is that everybody that starts to finish up and the couple of people that are taking a little bit longer and utilizing the whole length of that time cap, everybody's focused on them. Everybody's cheering. Everybody's waiting. And what I've seen and what happened in the past is when you don't have that time cap that's on, what is this, Spock?
Fern.
Oh my God. He's missing the sunglasses on his head.
If this dude spiked his hair up, they look exactly the same.
And when you don't enforce a rule of like, hey, we're not cleaning up together as a time cap, you get all your people who are really quick in the class and they start breaking down their barbells and put it away. And guess what happens? Everybody else in the class just follows their lead. So even when your middle of the pack people are finishing, or some of the people that are taking a little longer to finish, they start breaking down their equipment immediately and they start putting their stuff away. And what ends up happening is the newer people at your gym that are probably going to take the majority of that time cap, even though they're properly scaled, they end up looking around and going, shit, everybody's done except for me. Everybody is cleaning up, they're packing up, and they're no longer engaged with the class at all. So for me, the most important piece of the time cap is that allows us to say, hey, nobody cleans up until this piece is over. And then we all break down we all break our equipment down together, and people are focused on the last people finishing on the floor or potting or like hanging out or just making sure that they're present while they're finishing. So that's my take.
Caleb.
Yes.
Caleb doesn't want to step on the toes of the best hour of the day.
No, I don't. I think what Will is saying is true. I think you probably need to improve he says, I think he's saying that is that you have tons of people hitting time caps every day. You're not coaching properly and scaling for people to do the workout and the intended time and stimulus.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think that's kind of what
say that though, because I think they're probably
no,
right,
he didn't.
He didn't say that.
Fern didn't say any of that. I think it's everything that was in that video was like implied. Like he was, I don't know. He chopped up a really shitty portion of his speech.
That's
but
like
I agree. I think
this quote. What was that? What was the point of this?
Right.
Yeah. Well, his whole thing was saying that if you have to use a time cap, there's a deficiency in your coaching. Like that was the theme of what he was saying, and I don't agree with that whatsoever. I don't think the two are related.
Right. Okay.
Right.
If you're doing Fran, and you want people to finish Fran in 4 to 6 minutes, right? Ish, unless you're elite and you're smashing it, but that's kind of where you're going for.
Yeah.
And you don't want people to take 15. You give it an 8-minute time cap.
Yep. And that's exactly the time cap.
Because you want them to finish under 8 fucking minutes. It's chicken before the egg. And Fern's like, no, we're not even chickens. We're cows. We're better than everybody. We have to be cows. It's like, fuck yourself.
Well, and
they already eat chicken.
And the thing is, too, is if you have somebody who's improperly scaling the workout for themselves because they just want to use the RX weight and they end up just hitting the time cap all the time, it's self-governing. Because then you go, see, imagine if you went a little faster and finished the workout how it's supposed to be, you would have a time. Yeah.
The worst thing is that post has almost 500 likes on it. So I don't know if 500 people don't even watch it and click the like button, but everyone should disagree with that.
No, all those 500 people have never owned an affiliate or coached in one.
Or they have and they didn't watch it because it's unwatchable.
It seems like the best part people haven't owned an affiliate either.
Caleb, you get to pick the last topic on there. Fire away.
Yeah,
we're gonna go pretty soon here. I got notes, bro. We got topics and notes. I'm trying to get to
the Greg episode this morning. It was good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
It was different than like Sevens are they're different, you know,
right?
Because they're conversation based, and it seemed like you had pitched a bunch of stuff. It was good to have a little different.
Yeah, and when
it's all good. I love them all.
No, for sure. But when I originally kind of talked to Sevan about like, hey, here's what I'm thinking about doing. What do you think about this? He literally said, he goes, that's fantastic because that's something that him and I wouldn't necessarily talk about, right? Due to the proximity of the relationship, how long they've known each other and stuff. So for me coming in blindly and asking all those questions, not having lived through it, it just gave a different perspective. And Caleb, I don't know if you held your breath and read all the comments from our show yesterday, but people seem to really like it.
Oh, really?
I was a little afraid to get in there.
I was a fire and forget for me.
Okay, so the last topic we're rocking here is 4 new species of deep sea octopus discovered near Costa Rica.
Hey, Caleb, you want to bring something up? Yeah, let me bring up this octopus, man.
Hey, in his defense, that was part of my notes, so I don't want you to bash on him, but I knew Caleb was excited for the alien things. Okay, so for those of you guys that can't see it, if you're just listening to this, they have this picture of these little octopuses that look like they're hatching, and the one in the photo that you could see looks exactly like a little alien head that you would see from like an ET or something like that.
Dude, that's a trip.
Yeah.
I hope that we start doing more deep sea exploration of things and find like some weird shit. I want to know like what's down there. I don't want to go explore myself because the ocean's terrifying, but it's pretty cool. I think octopuses are something that are very interesting as well, just because of how smart they are and because they have that like little camouflage effect to them. I think it'd be cool to learn about them more.
Dude, it's one of those things that like I feel we always are trying to explore upward and outward rather than inward. Like, and I mean that metaphorically in like actually, right? Because there's so much stuff that is in our oceans in here that we haven't necessarily broken down. Like, have you seen that thing that they did with the fungus in the Japanese subway trains?
No.
What?
So there is a fungus that kind of grows its branches out, and I know I'm fucking this up. So people that are like, they don't have branches. I know they're not branches. I'm just trying to describe it in a way that people can understand. And so what they did is oh shit, there's a video. Caleb found a video of it. No, it's in the ocean.
All right, I thought that was a bridge.
And that thing's tiny. Yeah, dude, it's incredible.
Cephalopods.
So they took a schematic of like the schematic. They took like a map of like the city of like Tokyo, which the streets are all crazy and everything's nuts. And they put this like fungus in it that continues to grow. And what it did is it spread itself all the way out. And then it started to refine it to the most efficient way it could deliver nutrients to it. And then base to its like outer edges. And then basically what they did is they took that as the map to build the most efficient subway train in Tokyo. And so if you search it, you could see it.
Oh, that's cool.
That's incredible. It's like there was something that they did at some university where they just allowed the students to dictate what was going to be built, like where the sidewalks would be, what kind of buildings they needed, all that stuff. And so you just have the students or the people occupying the space build everything they need. So if say you needed a sidewalk, but you didn't know where to put the best sidewalk, you just let people walk around, and then you see the most worn areas of the grass or most worn areas of like the ground. And then you're like, okay, well, this actually needs a diagonal sidewalk here instead of a straight one or like a crossed one, anything like that. It's really cool. I like that.
Yeah. And I know I might have butchered that, fungus thing, but you guys get
it was good. No.
And who's Chris Carter? There's something like 95% of the ocean that that's still unexplored. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Well, when you have people who create submarines that are not technically sound, and then they just go try to explore the Titanic and kill themselves, it's pretty hard to,
Yeah, people get a little gun shy after that, huh?
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to do that anymore.
People get a little gun shy.
Have you ever heard this thing about the Titanic? Like, you know what kind of movie that is, right? Titanic.
The James Cameron one?
Yeah. What if you think about Titanic, what kind of movie is it?
Romantic. 100% like a romantic. Yeah.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Action thriller.
Because it's some old chick, right? And she's giving a recant of her time spent there.
Yeah,
right?
CrossFit space.
But this chick has had a family and kids, and she's on her deathbed. And she's telling a story on her deathbed about some dude that she banged on a boat 70 years ago. And she died. So everyone's like, oh, this love story.
Yeah.
But in the meanwhile, she's just like some hoe giving a story about some dude that she can't get over.
Some hoe.
I'll never let go, Jack. Never let go.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
That's what we think about on our deathbed.
Okay, so let's make one more real quick.
I don't believe this. There's no way.
Yeah,
I made a Titanic reference
earlier. Nothing. Sorry, it's way harder for me to pay attention to these
Siri
comments when also hosting the show. It's a little tough. All right, so let's finish on maybe one more. Let's make it spicy. Let's talk about the World Economic Forum and what the president of Argentina said. And I had some stuff about the importance of small business and ownership that was going to layer in front of this, but I think we're good here. So,
whoa.
The newly elected president of Argentina delivered a speech before a large crowd in the World Economic Forum conference in Davos, Switzerland, on Wednesday. Jesus.
Excoriating.
Thank you. Collectivism and champion individual liberty. There's that word again, people, and that's why I wanted to give this the definition one more time so we're all on the same page at the beginning of the show. So when we play this clip, you have that in your mind when you're thinking about it. Okay, let's roll the footage.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Today, I'm here to tell you that the Western world is in danger. And it is endangered because those who are supposed to have to defend the values of the West are co-opted by a vision of the world that inexorably leads to socialism and thereby to poverty. Unfortunately, in recent decades, motivated by some well-meaning individuals willing to help others, and others motivated by the wish to belong to a privileged caste, the main leaders of the Western world have abandoned the model of freedom for different versions of what we call collectivism. We're here to tell you that collectivist experiments are never the solution to the problems that afflict the citizens of the world. Rather, they are the root cause. Do believe me, no one better placed than us, Argentines, to testify to these 2 points. We're here to tell you...
Okay, you can leave that piece. We don't need to listen to that portion of it.
Why doesn't he just say what he wants to say?
Well, he's at the World Economic Forum, so I think he's trying to like get around it somewhat, but still make the point there. And yeah, that shit's kind of crazy, right? In terms of like a globalist government, I can't see how that would end well in the long term. And let me put it this way, Hiller, when you own the CrossFit gym, right? And you moved from because you originally were coaching there, and then you became an owner, right? And
right.
And bear with me because it may not 100% apply, but did your mindset change from I'm just coaching to now I own this place in terms of the responsibility and the care and the time and effort you put into it?
I mean, yeah, yes,
right. So if you, Caleb, you purchased the Shadakin. And you're putting in fucking hours. And if you guys aren't following it on YouTube, go follow it on YouTube, the Shadakin. He's putting in hours fixing it up. Would you do that if I owned it and was just renting it to you?
No.
Okay. So the point I'm making here is that ownership is going to automatically make people care way more. And if I own a home and a community, how much of my personal responsibility for my home and then the surrounding community goes up? A lot, because now I own this house. This is my house. And then now this little piece of it, I want it to be good in my community because the house I own is in this community. So it has this effect where it starts to relay onto other things, right? You're not only to own your house, but then you want the surrounding area to look good. You don't want your neighbor's lawn to look like shit either. You're like, hey, come on, let's take a little care of our stuff here, right? And when you have something that is a collective, like he's talking about, or we have an entity that is owning a bunch of stuff that's happening like with all of our companies and with a lot of the properties in the US as well too. And you take away the ability for people to own stuff, or the cops aren't, taking care of the businesses. And it's over here like in the Bay Area and people could just trample through and break your stuff. Therefore, you feel like you don't have any ownership or any protection of that property. People fucking care a lot less. And the more people that care less and the more people that don't feel like they could have ownership, it gets replaced by dependency. And then once you have dependency on these entities that are owning the stuff that you have, you essentially don't have any control or freedom over what you're doing anymore. And for me, that's a super slippery slope. Any thoughts there?
It's like keeping up with the Joneses. If I'm mowing my
we'll get to Tank Reeves after your comments.
If I don't mow my lawn, like, okay, what's funny is that this house and the property that it sits on is an absolute shithole. But the rest of the property within this neighborhood is very well kept, very well like done up, everything. This guy never left his house. So the guy who like lived here didn't care. I mean, he owned it, but he was just so decrepit and incapable of doing anything. As soon as we moved in, completely different. We're mowing our lawn. I'm cleaning out the yard. I'm cutting up the bushes. I'm repainting it doesn't smell like shit anymore. I'm getting rid of the old junk that's been sitting on the front yard for years on end. I've removed everything. Like, I've gutted this whole place. It's because I own it, and I care about this.
That's
I
right.
want the rest. I don't want this. This is like the cornerstone of the entire neighborhood. And when people drive by this neighborhood, they like see this and they just see it as like this shithole. But because I own it now, I'm not going to let the rest of the neighborhood look like shit because the property that I own looks like shit.
Yep, exactly.
Unless you take pride in it looking like shit. Like
yeah, sure. Yeah, like the last guy. He took pride in this place looking like shit. So that's the way that it looks.
My neighbor's house looks like shit. It's wicked. He loves it.
Fuck that guy.
We're going to end on this. Tank Reeves, our local contrarian here that believes nothing from anybody. Souza still thinks ownership is a thing. Here's the deal. We all believe lies. Sevan talks about the red means stop, the green means go. It actually doesn't mean any of that. That's just a social contract that we all agree upon. And I'm choosing to believe that ownership and giving the people the power to own something in the sense of how it exists now today, because I realize what he's saying, that the government could come in and like take your stuff regardless or whatever that point is. I get that. But even that facade of ownership in a temporary time is still going to lead to better people making better decisions and taking care of themselves and their property better than they would if they don't own it at all. So this is what I choose to believe, Tank Reads. Now, whether or not that fits within your model of how you believe stuff, it doesn't matter. It's the fucking world we live in. And so if ownership is the only thing that I could rely on in terms of making things better and continuing to contribute to my community because I care about the place where I live, I own it, and I'm here, then that's what I'm going to choose to believe to operate within the confines of the society that exists today. So unless you got a fucking better plan, dog, I suggest you start putting some solutions in this motherfucker, not just random little sticking points. All right. Okay. I definitely have to run now, guys.
I did spray paint my bushes.
From
they were all brown and then they were all green. And no one fucking knew anything.
Facelift.
Oh my gosh.
The Shadican spray painted bushes.
Oh my gosh. Dude, people don't take care of themselves. Why would they take care of the lawns or houses? Again, I don't like that pessimistic view. There are a lot of people that take personal responsibility, and those are the ones that we need to focus on, and those are the ones that we need to keep uplifting. If we don't, it's just a fucking race to the bottom, my friend, and I'm not running that race. All right. I'll see you guys later. Hiller, thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to do the virtual giveaway, guys. You'll be seeing them posted on the podcast IG as well as mine. You could go to the landing page and you could enter in the contest for your free virtual tickets. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, and bye.